Hey family, welcome to Family Meeple. I'm Raymond and this is unboxing, and it's a very special one. This is the first dispatch of the pre-order for Witching Hour. So really excited to be digging into this one. Obviously seen lots of people receiving this or acquiring this across the globe at various conventions. So yeah, a bit frustrated. UK not really had an option to purchase this. So when they brought this out on pre-order, I'm very excited to grab that as soon as possible. I can remember actually the time that they were going live with the pre-order. I was sat waiting for one of my daughters for a meeting she was attending to finish, and she finished. I think we'd arrived slightly on time. She'd finished a bit early. We'd arrived slightly early. She finished early, and then she got a bit frustrated with me because I was effectively then sat in the car waiting for the time to hit for when I could place this order, as I definitely did not want to miss out, and I wanted to be in that first batch. Get in, have a look. The wonders of tuck boxes. Let me in. Here we go. Okay, what have we got? Hey, and it really does weigh some as well, actually. I was pleasantly surprised how much it weighed. Okay, so let's have a look at goodies we get. New additions for the Marvel United universe. Let's have a look at, we get Scarlet Witch as a villain. So we've seen this same character figure, I believe, before, with Scarlet Witch being played as a hero. So this gives us the ability then, obviously on the back of WandaVision, to play Scarlet Witch as an enemy. And if we have a look at her special setup rules, oh my gosh, I'm wearing my long distance glasses and there's absolutely no way I can read that. Bear with me one moment while I switch my eyes out. That's better, I can see. So apologies for that. Special setup. Set aside the possessed by Chitron. Even with my reading glasses, I'm struggling with this. Set aside the possessed by Chthon master plan card. Okay, it is quite small text, unusually, and place it on top of the deck. After shuffling it, set aside 3 cards with special effects from the deck of each hero in play. Okay, interesting. That's better. That's about the size I'm used to. Oh, there we go. We'll just get her full board in for you there. So she only ever has 2 hit points, no matter how many players you have playing against her. Interesting. Special rules then. Heroes can also damage Scarlet Witch using heroic feats. Each time a mission is completed, each player may put one of their set aside hero cards on top of their deck, and each time a hero is knocked out, Scarlet Witch doesn't activate her BAM. Instead, remove the top card from the master plan deck. Do you know what? I forgot about this actually. My recent recordings, I was reflecting on it, and then realised that I'd actually forgot to activate the BAM of the villain when my Miles Morales got knocked out in my latest playthrough recording. Completely forgotten that rule. There we go. Right, I'm just going to grab her cards so we can have a look at those whilst we are considering her. We'll grab her miniature as well. which of course I remember now is all going to be taped up to keep them nice and safe and secure. The packaging was good for this, I have to say. Yeah, no issues at all. It was very securely wedged between polystyrene on either side in a much larger outer box, so there was no risk of the box even getting dinged. You would end up with a destroyed outer box pretty much before the contents got damaged. So yes, kudos to CMON for that. Very impressed, very happy with that. Okay, so right, so each time these hero cards, so you set aside the 3 cards with special effects from the deck of each hero in play. Now again, that's an interesting one for me because I'm aware some heroes have much more special cards, so I don't know how that works. If you play something like a hero like Deadpool, I think pretty much every card in his deck is a special card. I'm not quite sure how that applies to those particular rulings. I'm sure there'll be something online about that. And then every time you clear a mission, each player may put one of their set aside hero cards on top of their deck. Okay, so you've lost all your special cards until you start completing those missions. And then each time a hero is not activated, the BAM remove the top card from the master plan deck. Okay, so when BAM, add a crisis token in the dark hold page, threats in Scarlet, witches, and both adjacent locations. Okay, so I'm guessing dark hold page will be all of the threats. Yep. Okay, so let's have a look at one of those now then. Pop that on there. In fact, it's that was fine. Okay, so dark hold page, when this has 3 crisis tokens on it, it is cleared, and Scarlet Witch gains 2 health, may go above starting value. Put 1 threat token on the clear threats mission for both teams in teams versus teams mode. Okay, so it's nice to see we've got the team versus team being considered as part of this. Put a threat token on the clear threats mission. Okay, have a look how that plays out. Oh, I'm trying to get my head around it all. So in event of overflow, if you can't place a token to a location, add a crisis token to the threat that's there. If there is no threat there, add it to the first clockwise threat. So this is all about putting threats out on these crisis tokens out on these threats. Villa spot, the heroes lose when there are no threats left in play. Okay, so your mission focus has to be on rescuing civilians and defeating thugs, pretty much. There's no way to clear these threats. That is very much what Scarlet Witch will be doing in her turn to turn. Okay, wow, very interesting. So very different one. I'm trying to get my head around the difference, and therefore then also the thematic of what difference it's making. Okay, let's have a look at, I seem to be sort of shrunk down in the in my window up here. Boop, there I am. I feel like I can do this. Okay, apologies, I've been messing with the cam. Okay, so Scarlet Witch, let's have a look. So this is her starting card. So the first card you're going to pick, she's not going to move, she is going to BAM, and she's going to be possessed by Chthon. Okay. As long as this card is face up in the storyline, heroes can't interact with threats in any way. Yep, so that is pretty much your standard. Okay, so we are ignoring the threats missions. Other cards then include the Broodlings of Chthon. Deal 1 damage to each hero anywhere. Ouch. Okay. And then we're putting out a single token. We've got Dark Holders. So move 4, BAM, and then deal 1 damage to each hero in locations with 1 or more thugs. We've got reality warping. So move 3, do a bam, and each hero must turn face down their earliest hero card in the storyline with a special effect. We've seen this kind of thing before with a number of these villains now. Not that I've actually encountered it yet, because I confess I'm not that far into my gameplay experience just yet. But I'm looking forward to that will be approaching soon, I hope. Okay, so we're going to move to, and bam, we'll do Bending Will. Until the next villain turn, heroes can't enter Scarlet Witch's location. Okay. We've got move 1 and bam, they are all unique. Okay, Conjuring Dark Force. Each hero in Scarlet Witch's and both adjacent locations must discard a card from their hand. Scarlet Witch gains 1 health for each of these cards. May go above a starting value. We've got the Growing Power, so she's going to stay where she is and bam, and add a crisis token to each threat with no crisis tokens on it. So that's a very quick progress on her main villainous plot. And we got move 5, bam, and put out tokens. Move 4, move 3, move 2, and move 1. So there we go. So an idea of how Scarlet Witch will work as a villain, and we'll just have a look at her miniature. So I'm fairly sure it is the same miniature we had for Scarlet Witch. We saw in previous, but obviously now in red, as opposed to the blue, player as a hero. There we go. Very good. I do like that. I do love the sculpt. I love all the dynamics of the cloak, and then kind of this the whipping up of the power around her, which would be like a glistening red force, would be my imaginings as to that. Very good. From the Reality Stone. Okay, so let's move on to our other villain, who is a purple. So she could be played as a villain or as a hero. So let's have a look. We have Agatha Harkness, and I think this is probably amongst all of them, this is probably the main one that everyone has been excited to see, particularly on the back of course, certainly for myself, on the back of the Agatha show. My daughter's very excited to watch that when that came out. So yeah, really glad to see this here. So let's have a look. So special setup. Place the witch trial mission within reach of the players. Place all rune threat cards on their A side. Set aside the Witch Hunt Begins master plan card and place it on top of the deck after shuffling it. Okay, so let's have a look at a couple of those things then. We have the witch trial that it's making reference to there. Okay, so this is accessible to all players. Okay, so this is a new mission. Okay, and then it makes reference to, there are various runes. Place all rune threat cards on their A side. Okay, so as you would imagine, there are A sides and B sides. We'll have a look at those in a moment. And then set aside the Witching Hunt. The Witch Hunt Begins, and we'll have a look at that in just a mo. So flip this over and have a look at what we have here. So again, like Scarlet Witch, only 2 health, no matter the number of heroes playing against her. Special rules when Agatha Harkness becomes under pressure. So once you've cleared 2 missions, flip all rune threat cards to their B side. Okay, so we'll take a look a moment at what that means for us. For each damage Agatha Harkness is dealt, check the witch trial mission. If there are 7 or more civilians there, remove one civilian from that card instead of removing one of the health tokens. Ooh, okay. Hence, you've got something else you need to be clearing prior to being able to actually attack her, in addition to clearing the missions. For each time a hero is knocked out, Agatha Harkness doesn't activate her BAM. Instead, add one civilian token from the pool to the witch trial mission. So from the pool, okay. So if she knocks someone out, then she gets to add a civilian to this mission card. So that's how that works. Okay, that's fair enough. So when she bams, then move one civilian from her location and each adjacent location to the witch trial mission. Okay. Activate the rune threats with symbols matching those on the master plan card. Ooh, liking the sound of that. Okay. In the event of overflow and tokens can't be placed in a location, add a civilian from the pool to the witch trial mission. And then the villain spot, the heroes lose when the witch trial mission is complete. Wow. Okay, so again, similar to what we saw with Scarlet Witch as a villain. She has her own card that she's trying to stack up her specific things on in order to win against the heroes. Very good. Okay, so let's have a look at her card. So the starting master plan card. So let's just move that out of the way. So the starting master plan card then. The witch hunt begins. Just put that out of the way. So add a thug and a civilian to every location. So that's how the game begins. Okay. And then we have her other card. So move 3, it was her all along. Turn all thugs into civilians. Okay. All thugs in play. And then put out a whole bunch of thugs. Move through an ebony in Agatha Harkness and the opposite location. Do 1 damage to each hero there and move 1 civilian there to the witch trial mission. And then put out a bunch of civilians. Here we go. And this is then the symbols that it made reference to earlier. So move 5, activate these particular runes, and then bam, and then put out tokens. So let's have a look and see what the A side of these threats is doing to us. So we've got the warding rune on the A side. When this rune is activated until the beginning of the next villain turn, each villain requires an extra heroic feat to be rescued. Ouch. Cannot be cleared. So this is another one where we cannot be clearing threats in order to win the game, at least not on the A side. So you have to complete those 2 missions, being rescue civilians, clear thugs, defeat thugs, in order to activate the warding runes so that it can actually be cleared. When this rune is activated until the beginning of the next villain turn, when a hero enters Agatha's location, she immediately moves clockwise to the next location. Whew, warding rune. Okay, so that's going to keep her moving and prevent us attacking her unless you have a power that enables you to attack an adjacent space. Wow. Okay. We have the hypnotic rune. So when this rune is activated until the beginning of the next villain turn, heroes must play their hero card randomly. Not good when that activates. Okay, and the B side, so once it is, you've cleared 2 missions and you can potentially clear this. When the rune is activated at the beginning of the next villain turn, heroes can't see the symbols at the bottom of the previous hero card in the storyline. Oh, sorry, can't use that. I was thinking, can't see them? What? Okay, so you can't use, so it really does have an impact, that hypnosis, on your ability to, activate your heroes. Okay. The A side of the weakening rune. So again, can't be cleared. When this rune is activated at the beginning of the next villain turn, heroes treat special effects on their hero cards as blank. Ouch. Wow, but these are really powerful. I can see her being a big challenge. Okay, so flip to the B side. When this rune is activated until the beginning of the next villain turn, heroes must ignore 1 movement action on their turn. Okay. we have the Charm Rune. When this is activated, if Agatha is in location with no heroes, place a civilian from the pool to the witch trial. And on the B side, when it's activated, each hero must discard one card with special effects from their hand, if any, to the bottom of their deck. So causing you damage if you have a special card in your hand. And we have the Energy Rune. When it's activated, deal 1 damage to each hero anywhere. Ouch. Oops. And when it's flipped over to the B side, deal 2 damage to one hero in Agatha Harkness and in each adjacent location. Then move those heroes 1 location away from her. So it's kind of this blast of energy coming out of Agatha. And then the Probability Rune. When it activated, if Agatha Harkness is in a location with no heroes, accelerate the next villain turn by 1. Okay. And then when you're on the B side, each hero must reveal the top card of their deck. If it has 2 symbols at the bottom or a special effect, they must put it at the bottom of their deck. So when this gets activated. Wow. Okay, so those runes, very, very powerful, very impacting on gameplay. I'm excited. That's definitely, yeah, very, very interesting. So you can see as we start to work our way through these additional threat cards, not threat cards, apologies, her villainous plot cards, master plan deck. We can see these runes being activated. So with this one, so she stays where she is, and then she would activate the Energy Rune. See that there you go. So the Energy Rune and oops, the Hypnotic Rune. So you get an idea just how powerful that is. So she would stay where she is, she'd deal 1 damage to each hero anywhere, and then to the beginning of the next villain turn, heroes must play their cards randomly. Wow. And then she would bam, which is moving a civilian from her location and each adjacent location to the witch trial. And then activate the rune threats with symbols matching those on her master plan card. What? So she gets to activate them twice? Is that right? Interesting. Or should that graphic be beneath that graphic? I guess you don't do them in order. You would activate the BAM and then activate those. Okay. I'd be assuming that that's what you do. I don't think you'd activate them twice. Oh my gosh, I don't think you'd get anywhere at all. Okay, so you would not move her. You would then activate the BAM and activate those as part of the BAM. And then you'd put out. Okay. Fine. Okay, I think that's how it works. Leave your comments below. I don't think you'd get very far if you were activating these runes twice every turn. Yeah, I think she would be definitely impossible to defeat. I think even with the best selection of specific heroes to go up against her, I don't think you'd be clearing her. Okay, so move 1, activate and put out tokens, and again, yeah, we've just got the variation on the different runes that she's activating and the different tokens that she's putting out in terms of the thugs and civilians. Okay, so that is how Agatha works, and let's have a look at the brand new mini that has been added to our collection. Ooh, very spiky. There we go. Is it just me? Does she look a bit Statue of Liberty-esque? Is that on purpose, do you think? Is it just me? It might be just me. But I think... I think that's part of it. I try to work out what she got in her hand. Is that a little kitten? Little kitten. And then she's got a Goomba bomb. So her power ball. And then she's got a book just at her feet as well. A spell book. Loving it. Fantastic. So, of course, with her being a purple character, it means we can play Agatha as a hero. So let's have a look at those cards. Why is my green screen got all... Oh, it's cleared up again now. It's the white balance on my green screen cam kicks in, and I don't know why. I keep turning it off, turn it, pack it in, stop it, but it doesn't. Very frustrating. Okay, so her starting hand deck. Here we go. Yep. So there's the picture of her with her cute little pussycat under her arms. Fantastic. She doesn't look very happy though, does she? As a hero. She looks somewhat vexed. Okay, so Agatha, loving the rune symbol for her there. So magical protection. As long as this card is face up in the storyline, you can't be forced to play your card randomly. Nice. Okay. So move and heroic feat. Other class do then binding. A villain in your location has a movement of set to 0 on the next villain turn. Okay. So it kind of draws the attention to her in essence. They can't move. It's going to be in her location. Electrokinesis, double attack against a single target in adjacent area. Okay, so we saw certainly against Scarlet Witch how that would apply, and then make a move. We have a purification. A hero in your location discards all the crisis tokens that they have. A hero, okay. Again, situational, but like it. Dimensional manipulation. If you're not in the villain's starting location, replace your location with any other not in play. What? If you're not in the villain's starting location, but it's not a starting card, so starting for this activation? Or do you have to record where the villain's starting location is? Replace your location with any other in play. Move everything from your location to the new one. Wow. Okay. A lot of specials in here, and this again goes back to what I was saying, particularly about Scarlet Witch. It's saying you take the 3 special cards. So which of these would you choose as the 3 special cards? Not entirely sure. Would it be all of them? Her deck would be very, very slim. Hydrokinesis. Move a villain, hero, or water token anywhere to a location adjacent to them. Villain, hero, or water token anywhere to a location adjacent to them. Okay. Water location. Pyrokinesis, attack in each adjacent location and a heroic feat. We have Aerokinesis, relocate or discard a total of up to 3 civilians and or thugs between your and adjacent locations. Nice. Oh, Ebony. It's a cat, Ebony. Nice. So attack against up to 2 different locations in adjacent locations, and then a heroic feat. Did we see Ebony in the TV show? I don't think we did. I don't recall seeing it. A force field. During the next villain turn, heroes in your location can't take any damage, and then move and heroic feat. Double wild and single wild. Go. So yeah, a lot of specials. And Agatha does come with the Darkhold equipment card. That would be the book we saw at her feet. That's what that. So you use on your turn, reveal the top card of any deck, and then turn this face down. Okay, so to recharge at the beginning of your turn, discard a civilian or a thug token from the corresponding mission. If not yet completed. Okay, so whilst they are still outstanding, you can push back your completion of those particular missions in order to reactivate the Darkhold, so that you can reveal the top card of any deck and then turn this face down. So you can use that obviously on either your hero decks to better forward plan what you guys are going to be doing next, or most likely you can use that obviously on the villain deck in order to glean insight into what the villain will be doing next. Excellent. So other heroes that we have, and again we've seen some of these, all of these. In fact, yeah, we've seen. I think so. Agatha was the new miniature added. The other heroes that come in the decks, we've seen all of them before sculpt wise. So, but we've only had the opportunity to play them against them rather as villains. So let's have a look. We have, to start off with then, we have Sinister, who we can play now as a hero. So this was originally released as a promo deck. I do like that cloak. That was available at conferences, conventions. There we go. And the very detailed base as well there. So before we had him as a villain, and now we have him as a hero. So starting hand, Master Geneticist, sorry. As long as this card is face up in a storyline, if you end your turn in a location with any other heroes, you may place one DNA token on one of their face-up cards in the storyline with no DNA tokens. Okay. Secret Agenda is a wild, and remove one DNA token from a face-up hero to use its special effect. Then turn it face down. If the heroes win this turn, only you win. The other players lose. So the DNA tokens are not included in the box. They are featured in the particular X-Men box that the original Mr. Sinister was available. So you do have to have that as well as this. So that's interesting. That's interesting. Let's just double check. Not missing anything. 2 villain dashboards, 1 mission card, 1 equipment card, 60 hero cards, 1 villain piece, 1 anti-hero piece, 4 hero pieces. Yeah, okay. So including the new plastic hero pieces done in the new appropriate colours. Okay. So it doesn't actually specifically say that it does require other content, but it absolutely does require other content. So be aware of that. If you are purchasing this box, you do need to have those DNA tokens. Obviously, you could use any token or anything just to represent a DNA token. Bit of spiral spaghetti, perhaps. So here we go. So remove a DNA token from face-up hero card to use its special effect. So yeah, okay, like that. Not entirely sure yet how to put out DNA tokens. There's a lot of removing DNA tokens. Secret Agenda. Remove 1 DNA token from a face-up hero card to use its special effect. Then turn its card face down. If the heroes win this turn, only you win. Yes. Yeah, so it's the same as the other one. So it's really interesting. So he is very much a kind of almost an anti-hero. So whilst you're playing him as a hero, he's actually acting against the rest of the team. He's trying to win the game himself. Yes, I do recall seeing this now. So we've got a number of these Secret Agenda cards. Then we're on Master Manipulator. Choose any other hero. On their next turn, you choose the card they will play in the storyline, even if they had to play randomly. So it could be good, could be good, could be bad. Interesting. It's very interesting. We've got 3 of those. So we've got the double wild and a single wild. We have a heroic feat and attack, move, attack, and move and heroic feat. So yeah, some really interesting gameplay notions coming from Mr. Sinister. So who else do we have? We have Deadpool X-Force, and again we've seen this miniature before. This is of course the this is the villain Deadpool. So now featured in grey. It's got various heads that he's slain. So got, I think she got, yeah, are these all Wolverine heads? Maybe. I mean, that looks like Magneto, perhaps. That's definitely Wolverine. Not quite sure who that one is there. That's the Wolverine in his other guise. Loving it. Loving it. Just a pile of heads he stood upon. Fantastic. Okay, let's have a look at his deck of cards then. So his starting hand, he begins with Regenerative Healing Factor. As long as this card is face up at the storyline, if you have less than 3 cards in your hand at the end of your villain turn, you may draw a card. Nice healing kick. Brilliant. Improve resistance to everything. To the beginning of your next turn, any special effects or master plan cards played have no effect on Deadpool. Love it. Oh, black card. Okay, totally unpredictable. On your next turn, you must play your hero card randomly. Okay, so we've got a move and wild. So we've got 2 of those. We've got Fight Through the Pain. Gain an attack token. You may ignore 1 damage until the beginning of your next turn with a move. So we've got 2 of those. I do love that graphic. Beer might be in danger. B might be in danger. Rescue 1 civilian in your location. Like it. Then move and attack. So we've got 2 of those. Maximum firepower. I always love the artwork on these here. Fantastic. So double attack against a single target in your location, then double attack against a different target there. Wow. And move. We've got 2 of those. Got a double wild and a single wild. Fantastic. That does look great fun, as always, to play Deadpool. We have Juggernaught as a straight up hero. Here's, so we had him previously in the season 2. Of course, Professor Xavier's brother. Okay. Which means that he would be, just thinking of the Wolverine and Deadpool film. So it means if he is Professor Xavier's brother, then it also means he would be the brother of, I can't remember her name, the woman villain in the film. I can't believe that name has escaped me. That's frustrating. Apologies for that, folks. My brain is not working. Okay, but yeah, so that means he would be her sister. I'm just brother. So I'm just trying to think, was there any reference to that in the film? Not that I can recall. Not that I can recall. Okay. Anyway, Juggernaught. And again, yeah, disappointed not to have seen her in season 3 of the Multiverse. I'd have expected to maybe see her as a stretch goal, perhaps. But anyway, Juggernaught. Protecting the weaklings. As long as this card is face up in the storyline, each time 1 civilian in your location is about to be discarded, you may take 1 damage to prevent it. Nice. And a heroic feat. We have Juggernaut armor. You cannot take any damage until the beginning of your next turn with a wild. We've got 2 of those. He does look happy. Double Agent Juggernaught. As long as this card is face up in your storyline, if during your turn you enter a location with a henchman, you may reveal the top card of the master plan deck. Nice. So again, situational, but like it. Charge! Move, then attack, and then attack again. 2 of those. We've got our double wild, our single wild. When we're into heroic feats, move and a heroic feat. Move and attack, and move and attack. Okay, so much less on the specials there for Juggernaught. And then we have our Grey Hulk. And again, let me know in your comments what your thoughts are. I'm a bit disappointed, if I'm honest, that we didn't get Grey Hulk in his suit. I'm just going to have a quick look at. I don't know the graphics. No, there is one card. I'd have loved to have seen Hulk in his suit. I think that would have made a fab little mini. If I was better at green stuff, puttying, I'd probably be tempted to try and maybe make a suit over Hulk here. I think that'd be quite cool with his little hat. But there you go. That's what it is. So it is, of course, the original Hulk miniature that we saw in the very first season of Marvel United. So he comes with a starting hand card of Growing Rage. As long as this card is faced up in the storyline, for each damage you take during a villain turn, you may gain 1 attack token there. And it's a wild storyline. I like it. There he is, Grey Hulk Outsmart. The next master plan card is revealed. You may put it on the bottom and draw another one instead. Nice. We have Superhuman Stamina. As long as this card is faced with a storyline, if you start your turn with only 1 card in hand, you may draw 2 cards during your draw step. I mean, this is a lot. It's a lot to... I'm just thinking about, as a solo player, playing this character, I've got 3 cards so far, and everyone has an ongoing effect on the rest of the game. As long as this is faced up with a storyline, here's an additional thing you need to remember, be aware of. I mean, maybe it's less impacting if you're playing multiplayer and this is the only character you have to control, but interesting. Okay. I mean, not that I don't like it, but it's a lot. Controlled strength, double attack in your location and then an attack. We have our double wild and our single wild, and then we should be into our standard. So we got double attack, we got heroic feat, we have a single attack, move and attack, move and heroic feat, and a move. So there we go. Okay, so they are all of the cards and the miniatures and the content that come in the Witching Hour expansion box, I guess I would refer to it as. Yeah, it's definitely not standalone. It's definitely an expansion, but it is nice. It is nice. I do like, in particular, Agatha. Very excited to get her to the table. That family is the Witching Hour. I hope you have enjoyed the unboxing. I've certainly enjoyed going through all of the content and discovering what goodies were included for us in here. Keen to get these to the table. Feeling maybe a little bit overwhelmed, particularly someone like Grey Hulk, who's got those multiple continuing effects on the gameplay. There's a lot of juggling, there's a lot to remember, certainly for my ever-aging brain. But really different again from anything else that we've seen. Like those 2 separate missions that we've got now with Scarlet Witch and Agatha. So yeah, keen to see these guys in motion. I may do a video of them in very shortly coming up in my content. I need to get back to our Spider-Verse playthroughs as well. So thank you as always for watching. I hope that's been informative and useful to you guys. I know that there are a lot of people that are in the second wave that will be getting this at some point, but I guess later this year. And of course we've got our DC Superheroes United, I think it's called. So they couldn't have DC United because that's a football team, I think. But yes, so excited to see how all of this stuff comes together. And then later this year as well, I'm guessing probably before the Kickstarter content lands, there will be another retail box, standalone core box coming out from the Batman The Hush box. So there's information about that on the Game Found page, I'm thinking it is now, rather than Kickstarter. Anyway, yeah, have a search online and I'm sure you'll find information about that. Lots of comments on feeds around that. The fact they've got, again, sort of duplicate characters. I believe they are different sculpts, however, from the others. So always nice to have a bit of variety, and obviously will be different cards, as we've seen similar in the Marvel United, where we've got like multiple Deadpools now, etc. But yeah, loving this content, loving the variation. Yeah, glad, really glad to see CMON listening to their supporters. Let's get it real. Yeah, this is what we are. We are their supporters. We are backing their Kickstarters, their Game Found ventures, their crowdfunding ventures, right? And we are, you know, supporting them, I guess, in producing these games. And I'm loving these games. Absolutely don't take away from that. Loving the interaction, loving the videos that they put out. And yeah, I'm really glad to see that this exclusive content that was put out there across the globe in various locations for people turning up to conventions, that certainly, unfortunately, in the UK, there aren't any conventions. Trust me, if they were, I would be there in order to acquire these. I'd be more than happy to do that. But yeah, for someone in the UK to get Bangkok, it's a lot of money. Or even to get to the USA, it's a lot of money. And I have to make a decision, right? It's like, do I spend that money to go and travel somewhere in order to buy a deck of cards? Or do I spend that money on someone like this, right? There's only so much money that can go around, only so much time. I need to make those decisions, I'm afraid, folks. It's the way of it, right? But I'm glad, really glad, that CMON have listened to the community, and they've produced this as a pre-order, enable people to get this content. Fantastic. Loving to see this, loving to see more of this stuff coming forward. You know, I've got no qualms with making stuff available at conventions if then actually it's followed on with an announcement to say, and it's going to be made available as a even if it's just as a pre-order, as this was, so it's a limited batch run. That's fine. I'm happy with that. But let me know your thoughts. What do you think? Convention specific or limited content? Are you happy with that? Would you rather not have that? That's my alarm going off. I need to go. Thank you as always for watching. I'll see you back at the table shortly. If you'd like this, please hit that like. Encourage me by subscribing. I'll see you back at the table soon. Ta-ta for now.